to talk Think Retail and get retail ready for what we're calling the next era of commerce. By introduction, my name is Lena. Some of you may know me. I head up strategy and operations for retail for Google in Sub-Saharan Africa. But what you're seeing here is a labor of love from a cross-functional team that you're probably going to meet throughout the day. They're going to speak. They're going to be talking you through some of the perspectives we see around what is reshaping retail and e-commerce for the future. So I just want to take a moment to applaud the team and thank them for this effort in building this incredible experience for us all this morning. And on top of that, just again, want to reiterate our thanks for you making time. It's really great to see every seat taken. And we're excited. We're really excited to be able to be with you this morning. So why are we here? As I mentioned, we have seen unprecedented change because of the pandemic, and we're here to talk about the changes we're seeing taking shape coming out of the pandemic. I did tell my team, every time we do these events, I always do a customary selfie with the audience. Are you guys all good with that? So I'm going to take one from that angle, one from that angle, and one from the middle. Is that all good? You guys don't mind? We didn't sign any non-compliance forms. Yeah, I know. It's a big thing. So we're going to take a picture. How about that? All right. Show me your best sides. Let's do it. Think retail. Come on now. Think retail. Okay, we're going to do this side. Then I'll finish off in the middle whilst we get this up and going. All right. Think retail. You guys look beautiful from here. Amazing. And I guess my last center point here. Here we go. Think retail. So as I mentioned, it's been 2 years. I was reflecting last night. I mean, the last time I was able to travel for work without restraints was January 2020. And I remember being in the States thinking, oh, this COVID thing, what is that? And, oh, it's going to probably just be a little fluke. And it has turned out to be the biggest social disruption of our time. We have seen unprecedented change in who we are, who we've become, and how we behave just because of the pandemic. My nephew went to a park last week and saw some canister that he thought looked like a sanitizer. And he was like, it's not working, Mommy. That's what the pandemic has done to us. And in just the same way as it's affected us socially, that transformative, unprecedented change is just the same within retail. So what do we see? So today you're going to hear from a series of speakers from various spheres of commerce and retail, and we're going to be talking about what we're seeing evolving in those spaces. So we've got quite an amazing lineup of speakers, as I mentioned. And to top it off, as I mentioned, the world has changed. But what has actually changed? We know COVID upended our world. It was the biggest accelerant of trends we know were already taking shape preceding the crisis. And consumer behavior is changing rapidly. I know you hear this a lot, but it's really important to understand that the consumer is really driving the pace of change much, much more than we've seen in the past. And as marketers, we're going to have to be very flexible and swift in responding to this dynamic consumer so we can capture every valuable conversion opportunity. We have to build resilience so we can bounce back better. When we talk to some of you in this room, and most of you in this room, you express to us that you want more forward visibility. You want more confidence about where to put your money. You want more confidence that what will work, what will not work. There's very little room for error, correct? Yeah, I see the nods in the room. Well, hopefully today, in conversation with us, we can help reinstill that confidence in our products and our solutions to give you that forward visibility and confidence and resilience for the future. So, 2021 was a year marked with a lot of questions. I mean, about 35% of the queries we saw on Google had never been seen before in the first 6 months of the pandemic. People were looking for answers. They wanted to understand how they can survive in the new normal, how they can build resilience, how they can work flexibly, the things we're still contending with today. And as we look forward, we know that a lot of things that still remain uncertain. But we're seeing a lot of stabilizing trends that are quite definitive, and we are calling these enduring trends that really give us some guardrails and leading indicators of what we can expect in the future. What are these things? Well, the pandemic, fundamentally, as we see it, if we were to just canvas everything we saw and put it into thematics, we saw shifts in media consumption. You're going to hear a lot about what we're seeing in the online space with regards to video. You're going to see what we're seeing in the app space as well later on today. Shifts in media consumption. Later on, you're going to hear from some of our team about how much that has actually happened, how swiftly that is continuing to happen, and the growth expectations there. We're seeing shifts in consumer needs. Consumers expect more from us in this room as marketers. They want more predictive experiences, more personalized experiences. And I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, personalization. It is possible with Google. We're going to talk about that today. And we're also seeing shifts in consumer expectations. Consumers want more assistive experiences. They want you to anticipate their needs. And hopefully, by today, you will walk away empowered by the end of the day that we are confident to be able to support you on this journey in meeting these key trends and developments. But we know this is what the pandemic delivered, these three key trends. But then what about the future? Now, there's a lot to think about. I'm sure you're hearing about social commerce, live commerce, the metaverse, and many other things. We're going to talk about how those things are taking shape from our perspective. But as we look forward and we prepare for the future, preparing for the future. I was reading that expression 600 times as I was preparing for this, preparing for the future. The future is actually already here. The future of digital marketing is already present within us. Each of us, I would assume, has a smartphone. This is now the digital entry point for pretty much most consumers in the world, and especially in Africa. You're going to hear from some of our directors about how we're seeing this translate in terms of our vision on the continent. But as we think about the future and the era that we're in, technology fundamentally is changing how we behave and interact with our consumers. And we need to get more savvy in how we invest, how we plan, how we think about consumer experiences, and fundamentally even channel mix. So how do we get started? Well, if I can leave you with two overarching thoughts from my opening statement. The future is going to be increasingly cross-screen. What does that mean for us as advertisers? We need to accelerate our digital transformation journey. We should not wait to experiment and iterate how we operate in our businesses. And we need to adapt our product and channel strategies to really meet this consumer faster and quicker. And also, we are seeing this unprecedented broad impact of e-commerce and digitization. This is going to be a trend for a while. This is a crucible moment for us as marketers. And we expect this to be an enduring trend that's driving commerce for at least the next decade. So, in the next weeks and months ahead, consumer behavior is expected to continue to accelerate and evolve, and we're looking at how technology can create new ways for us to interact with them, discover products and brands from us, and continue to drive growth for our businesses. The point here is that we want to make sure we understand consumer behavior tangibly and practically. And a lot of what you're going to see here today with Google is how we're thinking through that to empower you as our partners and advertisers. So how can we turn from a year of questions to a year of answers so we can regain confidence and scale? Well, we feel as Google we can play a crucial role there, a crucial role in helping you build that forward visibility with our tools and our products. And from product discovery to checkout, use our technology to meet this consumer across the path to purchase. I will warn you, a lot of what we're going to say today, some of it is going to be a little uncomfortable. But we are already uncomfortably uncomfortable, right? We need to get, what do we say? Comfortably uncomfortable or uncomfortably comfortable? Either way, we need to get uncomfortably comfortable with the future that is before us. And that requires rethinking and reframing how we operate, how we think, how we market, how we budget, how we think about our consumer. So uncertain times call for certain solutions. And we as Google, we feel very confident and certain that we can walk this journey with you and build better resilience for the future shocks we anticipate will come. We're going to get more savvy in expecting what the consumer will do and predicting what they could do. We're already doing this today, but hopefully today you will see a canvas of how we have been thinking about this and evolving with it throughout the pandemic. So, as I said, we're preparing for today. Now, being ready for the next era of retail is an exciting change point for us, and it's imperative we seize it. If I speak for myself standing here, I've been in the digital industry for 15 years. There's never been a more exciting time where technology could have a transformative impact, not just in businesses, but in our lives. When I started, all we had was keywords and links, the blue links. Gosh, I can't even imagine that life anymore. Now we have a plethora of products. We've had a proliferation of content. We're now talking about Web 3.0 and the content and experience economy. It's a really exciting time for us as marketers and as retailers. And we can prepare for what comes next. Now you must be asking yourselves, what's coming next? What can we expect? What does it look like? Well, as I mentioned, we have a series of esteemed speakers who are going to talk us through this. And without further ado, I would like to invite up to the stage our country director, Dr. Alistair Mokoena, to talk us through marketing transformation for retailers from a Google perspective and how we see it. And following that, you will then hear from Debbie from Ipsos, one of our partner research agencies, to talk about how we're seeing the evolving African consumer. And then you will hear from there from our managing director in Sub-Saharan Africa, Nitin, who will talk to us about the vision we have for Google in Africa to empower you as marketers to thrive. And with that, I thank you.